Hi, I'm Jennifer Hancock. I'm a humanist, author of several books about humanism, and founder of Humanist Learning Systems. And today, I want to answer the question, what does it mean to be ethical? Why be responsible? And humanism comes at this from a very pragmatic standpoint. This is a practical thing. We are responsible, we are ethical because it helps us solve our problems. We all have problems. And it turns out that being a good person, being an ethical, honest, compassionate, responsible person, that helps you solve your problems more effectively than, say, lying or avoiding your responsibilities. If you avoid your responsibilities, you're by definition not fixing your problems. If you're lying to people, you are compounding your problems, not fixing them. So a humanist is ethical not just because it feels good to be ethical, but because it helps us solve our problems. And life is a set of problems. You go through life every day. You have to figure out what to wear. You have to figure out what to eat. You have to work. Work is all about solving problems. You have to interact with other people. Sometimes that causes problems. We have problems all around us. And the more effectively you can fix those problems so that they're not problems anymore, the better your life is going to be. So for me, being an ethical person is a tool to getting through life effectively. Now, if you've read my book, The Humanist Approach to Happiness, you'll know that I talk about something called the true holy Trinity, right? And this is the values that actually matter. And for me, I view someone to be ethical if they are compassionate, honest, and responsible. All right? And you have to be all of these things really to be a good person, right? Because if you're not honest and you're lying, I can't trust you, right? That hurts me. Anytime anybody lies to me, it makes my life harder, all right? If someone is not compassionate with me, they could hurt me and make my life harder. If someone is not responsible, they're not going to do what they say they're going to do. I can't trust them, and they're going to make my life harder, not easier, right? I'm looking to make my life easier and simpler. And people who lack honesty, who lack compassion, and who are not responsible make my life more difficult. All right? And they make their own lives more difficult too. So these are the traits that I look for in other people, and they're therefore the traits I look for in myself. And I'll tell you why. In order to attract honest, compassionate, responsible people to my life, I need to be an honest, compassionate, responsible person myself. Because if I'm not, the good people of the world are not going to want to have anything to do with me. Right? And because good, honest, responsible, compassionate people make my life easier, it benefits me to be an ethical, honest, compassionate, responsible person myself. All right? Because if someone's missing just one of these things, like they're compassionate and responsible, but they're not honest, I'm still going to have problems with them. You need to have all three of these things to really be a good ethical person. And I need to have all three of those things and practice all three of those things to attract good people to me that make my life easier. And this is the big secret to ethics. We all know about the golden rule, right? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Well, ethics is all about you and how you want to be treated. And the reason to be ethical is actually pretty selfish. It's about making sure good ethical people hang out with you and that you do not surround yourself with unethical people. All right? Think of this as enlightened self-interest. All right? And the better you are at this, the more people are going to respect you, the more you're going to attract good people to you, the more people are going to want to help you solve your problems when you have problems. It's just a cascading effect of goodness when you do this. Is it a guarantee that your life will be easy? No. But what it does help with is ensure that when you do have problems, that you can attract the resources to you through other good people to fix your problems. All right? Ethics, and I discussed this in my Living Made Simpler course. Ethics is often, you have to think about this as there's how things are versus how things should ideally be. And to a certain extent, even though there are unethical people in the world and they cause all of this heartache, that doesn't mean you should be unethical with them. If we're going to create a world that's more ethical, you have to focus on how the world should be and act accordingly, keeping your eyes open to the fact that you do have to trust but verify for the people who aren't. All right? And, you know, the world might not be the ideal place we want it to be, but that's actually always going to be the case. And don't use that as an excuse to not be ethical. Act how you want things to be, and you will attract other people who want the same thing as you. Okay? Ethical people don't like to hang out with unethical people. That's just all there is to it. Now, the final reason to be ethical is again for yourself. All right? It is really hard to feel good about yourself if you are not a good person. All right? I know with myself, those moments when I'm most under stress, but I manage to be compassionate, responsible, and honest, despite the stresses I was under, those are the moments that I feel the most good about myself. When I have a difficult situation and I handle it the ideal way, I feel great. I'm doing living right. I am doing being a good human being right. I am a good human being, and that feels good. All right? And those moments when I fail to live up to my own ideals, maybe I'm not compassionate with someone who frustrated me, or whatever it is, I feel horrible about myself, right? And I don't know about you, but I would rather feel good and good about myself than feel horrible about myself because I was unethical. And I don't know any other way that really gives you that same high as really truly living up to your own ideals does. Living up to your ideals as a human being helps you feel good about yourself, and feeling good about yourself helps you in those situations where life throws you all sorts of crap, right? Because even though life might be throwing you crap, you still got you. You're still an upstanding person. You're still a loving person. There's still people in your life, hopefully, that are going to rally around you. That gets you through the tough spots. It really, really does. When my life has fallen apart around me, I still have that, and I still feel good of myself despite all the other stuff that's going on, and that gets me through. All right, so why be ethical? What does it mean to be ethical? It means to be a good person even in those moments when it's the toughest. And to do it when it's tough, you have to do it when it doesn't really matter all the time. Be honest, be compassionate with yourself and with others as much as you can be, and that one's the hardest. And then be responsible. Do what you say you're going to do and get it done. All right? Don't make excuses. So if you want to learn more about the humanist ethical system and what it means to be ethical in kind of a everyday sense, like in the here and now, how is it going to benefit you to be a good ethical person? Go take some of my courses at humanistlearning.com. I specifically suggest my course, Living Made Simpler, where I go into this in great details. We talk about the similarities and the differences between humanist ethics and religious ethics, common religious ethics, and how they actually work together to help you be that person you want to be. All right? And the people who've taken the course, they say it's really helpful in tweaking their lives. And you know, I've had people come back after my compassion unit. It's a 6-unit course, and they come back after the compassion unit and they say, this really changed everything. Right? Because the hardest part about being ethical is not the honesty and not being responsible. It's the being compassionate in times of stress that's really hard. And I teach you how to do that and why every teacher and philosopher in religion teaches compassion. There's a reason for it. It's a really powerful tool for self-control and for interacting with the world. So take the course Living Made Simpler, and I'll see you online.